I'm gonna restart the intro, but where I don't pull the microphone out.
Okay.
Okay, so hey guys, it's the 16th of October 2020. We're doing the third episode. Third. I only remember making two other thumbnails. It's got to be the third. It's the third episode of Family Gathering. Me and George.
We missed last week.
Did we?
Yes, we missed last week, and then the week before that was the second episode.
Yeah,
I missed last week because for some reason my timetable had changed, so I didn't have time. But I think for the next couple of weeks, I have a lesson at 11:30 until 1:30. You're probably wondering why I'm not there now. It's because I'm back on lockdown.
Oh no, what happened?
There is the flat across the way from us, across the hall, has had a positive corona test back. So we are social distancing for the foreseeable future.
So I've got my mustache.
I'm currently been wearing the same clothes for 3 days because I can't go out and do laundry.
Christ.
Yep. And I got this is one of the first thing that I wanted to rant about today. I got Asda to deliver my shop because it's safer than going to the store and everything, especially if I've been this close to coronavirus. Basically, I go out and I've got all my stuff and everything, and I'm putting my stuff away, and they forgot my milk and my eggs.
Forgot, or they told you they substituted
my milk and my eggs. I did not. There were no substitutions in there.
Okay.
In fact, actually, there was a substitution in there, but I got to choose it because I went from a large pack of eggs to a medium pack of eggs, and they forgot my eggs. I was so annoyed.
So they actually made you go through extra hassle, and then you didn't even get the item that caused the extra hassle.
Yes, exactly.
Big ups to Asda, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? Asda's really cheap.
Yeah, they're good.
But they screw up your order sometimes when you order stuff. It was super annoying because I've gotten a bunch of like pasta and sauce, which you need milk to cook, and I got a bunch of bacon, thinking I was gonna have some like bacon
carbonara.
And eggs
at
some point, or like carbonara or something like that, you know. And now I can't because I don't have milk, so I had to steal someone's milk, and I feel really bad. But I'm gonna have to order milk.
Do Cornwall have There's a delivery service that gets stuff from the shop for you. I don't remember what it's called.
That's actually a good shout.
I
know the one that you're talking about, yeah. That might actually be a good shout to do that. Either that or there is a shop on campus which will be less busy. So I might have to go there to pick up some eggs, beans, and milk. I just forgot about the beans.
Do you have any mates that aren't
fault
in your halls?
That's a point. Yeah, I could ask my mate James to pick up some eggs and stuff, and yeah.
We had an issue actually with delivery shop in general. I don't know if it's the same for you, but quite a few of them have upped the amount you need to spend for delivery now.
Yeah, it's a £40 minimum that you need to spend.
£40. So, we stopped shopping at Asda because of it, right? Yeah. We started going to Morrison's. We actually loved doing our Morrison shop. Like, the food was just different. There was new stuff on there that we hadn't had that we were like, oh, that's good. Really, really affordable Morrison's as well. And then we went to do it the other day and it was like £40 minimum. We're like, we don't even fucking spend. We spend like maybe just under 30 and we feed ourselves for 2 weeks. And I'm not talking
I was gonna say,
like
I usually spend like £20 on food for like a week and a half.
And I'm not talking like pot noodles, student meal. I eat full fucking proper meals for that amount. Covers me for 2 weeks, and they've upped it to 40. I'm not spending that. Me and Eve walked to Lidl today actually to do our food shop, but it wasn't actually. We've had so many worse physical food shops purely because of carrying everything back. It's a 2-week shop. There's a lot. They didn't have a lot of the stuff we normally get, which is kind of annoying. So they didn't have any soya milk or oat milk, which we drink here. So we didn't bring those back, and they're normally the weightiest. So
this is another thing. I got oat milk the other day. How do you put it with coffee? Because I tried it with coffee and it was disgusting. I need to know.
Okay, so here's the thing. You drink instant coffee, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Okay,
not-
give me
it's
the
not-
give me
it's
the
not real
full
coffee.
coffee lingo, Luke. I need to know this stuff so I can make some nice
So,
coffee.
It's the reason oat milk is better for coffee is because it's not dairy, so it doesn't curdle. So you can kind of push it further. So if you're making more milky drinks when you're heating it up, there's no chance of you going too far with it. It's completely safe the entire time. Oat milk with a fresh bean is completely different to instant. I can't tell you why. I personally think it's because I don't like instant coffee because it's really watery. Like home coffee is really, really just I hate it. Which is why I really don't like drinking coffee at home until I got into having actual bean, grinding the bean and making the coffee that way, because it's really not a lot of effort at all. It tends to be cheaper, to be honest with you, and it tastes better. So why wouldn't I? When you do it with that, it's all about kind of your flavor tones and what you like. I personally have loved coffee the most when I've been in Italy, which is dark roast. So I always go with a dark roast, and then they tend to come with like different tones and flavors. So like Eve's parents came up and they bought some coffee so they could have some, and we could make some affogato, which you know from the drawing episode that we did drawing that we haven't published yet, but we filmed it ages ago.
Right,
it's basically a dessert that's a scoop of ice cream and you pour a shot of espresso over it. We made that, but we didn't have any coffee, so their parents bought coffee for me to keep but for us to have. 2 seconds.
There you go. That's your Amazon parcel. Whilst he's gone, let me share his darkest, deepest secret with the world. Luke's deepest, darkest secret is that he is actually... Hey Luke, what's up?
What did you just fucking say about me?
Nothing.
Okay, right, well, what was I saying
this later.
about coffee? Okay, what was I saying about coffee? Oh, they bought coffee that I got to keep because they were just like, we want to make... You guys want to do this, we'll buy it, you keep it. I think Eve's dad chose it. It was from... It's a shop that I really recommend if anyone's in Bournemouth for like little things. It's called Sunshine Organics. It's kind of like 2 minutes in that direction. It's brilliant. It's basically like a half refiller shop, half organic, vegan, veggie and stuff. But that means you can buy coffee from them, not by the bag, but by the weight, and it's cheaper. Nice, and they bought one that's Bad Hand, which is our local roastery, which is, again, like 5 minutes in like that direction. Like I can walk into their roastery and buy coffee from them and they love it. They're awesome. But they had this thing called Columbia. It's dark roast, and when I smelled it, it just smelled like chocolate. It was awesome. It was so good. It was really earthy, and it's not because it's got chocolate in it, it's just that like earthy notes kind of smell chocolatey, so it's really really nice. So I would recommend anyone going for a bean, I think just do your research. Like think about what sort of flavors you like. Try, if you're gonna emulate something like a Costa or a Starbucks or that crap, like get their own coffee, because they do, like Costa have their own beans. That's how you'll make their coffee. If you want to have like different coffee and every time you make it's a different experience, just go for a local roastery because they're really cheap and they're really nice and you're supporting local industry, so it's worth it.
Nice.
But yeah, oat milk works really, really well for stuff like that. It's not very good with because it's watery and then it's oaty. It just doesn't make any sense. It's really disgusting. Have you still got oat milk left?
I do, yes.
Did you try any of it by itself?
I did. I didn't go much on it.
It's fine. Like I wouldn't drink a cup of oat milk.
I might have it with some cereal at some point, you know?
It might be alright. I don't know. I don't know how that would be on cereal. The last time I had oat milk on cereal was when I was on a no dairy diet, when they were trying to figure out what the stress disorder was. This was like, oh my god, George, this was like 6 years ago.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, and they were like, it's probably dairy. And I was like, it's actually a psychological thing, which is great to find out after you put me through.
It might be dairy. Actually, I'm just messed up in the head.
Yeah, I'm actually just psychologically disturbed. But like, thanks for telling me that it's actually psychological after making me go through like 6 different fucking diets.
I can now eat Ben and Jerry's again.
Yeah, and flapjacks. That was the worst one. Quick side note, I can't swim very well. I taught myself to swim maybe it was about 6 years ago, because when I did the diet stuff. And And my mum, as a treat, was like, "You did really well. If you go swimming today, because I know you're not feeling it, I'll buy you like a treat from the shop afterwards," which would have been Waitrose, because this swimming pool was actually next to where the old hospital used to be.
Right,
so it's that Waitrose. It is Waitrose, yeah, it's Waitrose.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
So she bought me a thing of flapjacks, and I took a bite, I started eating them, she just fucking snatched them out of my hand and went, "I fucking forgot they got butter in them, you can't have them, you're on the no dairy diet."
Oh my god!
I was heartbroken. I'm still not over it, to be honest. I have nightmares.
No,
Cold sweats in the night. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, last time I would have had oat milk for something like that was when I was first doing that, and I tried every single milk, and to be honest with you, I fucking hated soya milk, and the
soy
only
milk's
milk.
horrible.
But here's the thing, right? So I really hated soya milk, and I really, really, really loved almond milk with cereal. Almond milk with Cocoa Pops. It was just the shit. I love it. Now I don't like almond milk. I don't mind soya milk. It doesn't taste like soya to me. It just tastes like milk now because I have it in cereal. I don't like milk. I don't drink milk by the cup. I only like it in stuff. Sauces. I drink the whole thing when it's cereal. I love cereal tainted milk. I love it. But when
cereal tainted milk.
That's what it is. And then you get people like Eve who like they put the tiniest bit of milk in their cereal and they don't like to drink the milk. And I love the milk. It's like my favourite part.
I am, you know those adverts where it's like the Cravendale adverts with the bloke who just drinks a bunch of milk?
Right, yeah.
And he's like going to bars and ordering milk. I drink milk like that. I don't
You're
go
Richard
into bars
Iowati.
and order milk. I'm not like showing up at Spoons and being like, "Get me a pint at Cravendale." But I will have like a glass of milk during the day, and I will have milk on the cereal, and I will flood the milk up. So it's like I eat cereal for the milk.
I'm not. I don't disagree with you. In the morning, it's like the thing that rejuvenates you every morning.
An ice cold glass of milk in the morning wakes you up.
Do you remember that time do you remember that time we stayed at Nanny's and she had bought those straws.
There were many times, Luke. Many times that were memorable.
There was the one time she bought those straws that you drink normal milk and it tastes like Cocoa Pop milk.
Yeah, and it's like the strawberry ones and it's got the little bits inside that look like millions.
We decided that was okay, but I remember the time after that we had cereal and we just poured a chocolate milkshake over the cereal.
Yes. Actually, yes.
It was really good. I remember
this.
Yeah,
I remember this. Yeah,
it was like, look at this great thing. I'm like, yeah, you just put chocolate milkshake in it though. Yeah, great.
Oh my god. But no, I tried having oat milk with it, and then one of my flatmates used to work at Costa, and she had a go at me because I put oat milk with instant coffee. I was like, well, make me a coffee then.
Even she noticed. She? Did you say she?
She.
I swear, yeah, I was gonna say. I'm positive I just heard you say she. I didn't just assume baristas are all female. Actually, that's actually not even true. Like, the majority of them are male.
It's not. I was gonna say it's definitely not true at all.
But not with instant. Not at all. You can use it in if you're struggling. If you make a sauce or something, put it in that. You won't even taste it. It will taste just like a normal sauce.
Okay, cool. I will remember that when I'm making my pasta because I still have some oat milk left.
Yeah, you don't have any milk.
I don't have any milk except oat milk.
I may have said on this. I feel like I've said on the show before. The only reason I don't drink normal milk now is because Eve doesn't drink it because it kind of weirds her out because she's grown up with a vegan family and they only ever got alternatives. Of course, it weirds her out.
It's literally pus that's excreted from a cow's teat. Like it's a weird
lovely
thing.
Yeah, but I don't have cereal every single day, and so I'll be like, oh, I'll get milk for cereal, and then I won't have cereal for 2 weeks. Milk's gone off, and then I want cereal, so I buy oat milk and soya milk because it lasts like 4 months, and then I just have it whenever I want it. It's great. It's really good actually.
Of course.
But yeah, so you've got quite. George told me before this, and I feel like I just totally took that over. I really didn't mean to.
That's all right, that's all right.
You've got a lot.
It's nice to speak to you. I haven't spoken to you properly in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So just to quickly readdress that, I was so confused when you said about last week, and then I remembered kind of what happened. We had filmed Family Gathering episode 2, and then we filmed some Get With The Times, which are all live as of today that we are recording. It would have gone live at 11:45. I'll put it on social media for anyone who does watch these and who has us on social media and stuff. We're probably going to miss Get With The Times for this week. Unless we find time in the week, but it's unlikely, so we'll just kind of like leave it for now and we're going to do a Family Gathering. George seems pretty busy with uni, and I know that I'm getting to the point where maybe my briefs will be given to me this week. We'll see.
3 months in, you're like,
they're still being externally assessed, so like we've got to wait. So I can't actually start a few of my assignments because I know that I'll start them and they'll go, you can't do this, this, and this, and I'll be like, that's fucking all of my work. The reason I thought that we were fine was because I was like, oh, we're covered all the way through to Friday, but like I hadn't thought about family gathering at all. I just completely forgotten about it. But yeah, it's been 2 weeks, and you kind of went dark for a week. I was like messaging you, and you were like, my internet's just like, we were gonna film, and you were like, my internet's just fucking gone.
I was in the middle of a lesson, and the teacher went, oh yeah, so when you get back, hop on the internet. Can you do this thing? And then literally, as he said that, someone put their head in and went, the entire internet for the campus and the student village is down, by the way. And then just closed the door, and lo and behold, I was on 4G for the next like 2-3
entire
days.
Student village.
Yeah, all the way through the village, there was no internet.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
It was actually dreadful. I did read a lot of The Witcher, though.
Oh wow! Okay, there are some upsides.
So every cloud, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I've forgotten. I might be the only person on the planet who thinks this, but I've kind of missed being in lockdown. I'm a very like
introvert. You're not introverted at all.
I'm not
I actually wouldn't
introverted.
call you introverted.
I'm an introverted extrovert. I think is the best way to put it.
I think I'd agree with you.
I take my power from being alone to then be like, I'm ready for people to adore me now.
Right, okay, so you and me, and this isn't a surprise to a lot of people that know us both, you and me are exactly the same in that regard.
Yes, 100%.
Some people don't really quite get it, but I won't respond to people I don't do it to you, I respond to you all the time, but 100%. I won't respond to people for weeks, right?
Oh,
and they'll be like...
Yes.
I just assume they think I'm being an asshole, but I get socially exhausted so fucking quickly. Yes. Like,
you have no idea how glad I am that you're saying this right now.
It doesn't mean anything about the person. Like, so for example, this is a really, really good example too. Eve's family come up and they'll stay the weekend. I love them. They are my family. I absolutely love Eve's family. But even with them up, I get socially exhausted by like the second day, and then I struggle to kind of like act normally. And so I'll be like, I just want to sit on the PlayStation. I just want to zone into something else and just 100%. Completely recharge. And Eve gets it too. She'll come home and be like, I need to flop. I'm done. I just need to flop. And she's fine with me. I'm fine with her. I have no issue with that. It's just a thing. It just happens. I do it with my mum too. It's just like, you say, I'm sorry, I've been really busy, and then you think that they're just thinking like, but you all you had to do was send a message, it's 2 seconds, and I'm like, you don't understand the toll those 2 seconds of being any form of social takes on me. I just can't do it.
100%. I'd like to point out, just because of the tangent I'm about to go on with this,
right?
We don't really speak beforehand, so that
we try
the
not
content
to.
that we're getting out is a genuine conversation. I had a conversation with my sister yesterday. Basically, she put in a chat, "I miss you, bro." And I saw it and was like, that's nice. But I didn't reply to it because of the stuff that we were saying a minute ago.
Yeah.
And then my mum messages me last night and says, Chelsea thinks that she's upset you. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? How would she have upset me? So I messaged her, and basically she assumed that she'd upset me because I didn't reply to this message.
Right.
And I ended up literally... I put, this was like a day later that she sent the message. I put, miss you too. Sorry, sis, been busy all day. How are you? She put, okay, thanks. Feel like I've upset you. And then she asked me how I was and everything. And I was like, you haven't upset me at all. And like, but she genuinely thought it. And I called her and everything. She was like, yeah, I wanted to break the ice. I was like, there was no ice to break. You're my sister. There is never any ice to break.
Yeah.
But because I know that she watches this, I'd love her to know that you have not upset me, Chelsea. I just sometimes need my own personal space without anything.
It's not even like it's quite hard to explain. I'm sure it's hard to understand potentially from some people who don't feel this way. Like some people are extroverts, right?
Yes.
I think you perfectly use the exact term that I use, which is I'm an introverted extrovert.
Right? 100%.
I am totally fine being social. I can talk in front of crowds. I'm happy to be there. I just sometimes need to reboot. I have this battery, and when it depletes, it doesn't matter who you are. I just need to kind of zone into something else, and sometimes that can take days. Like it's not like I need an hour kip. It can be a week.
Sometimes I can be the most sociable person for like a week, but after that week elapses, I'm back into like, I need to sit down, I need to read a book, I need to play a video game, I just need to get out of this reality. Talking of reality,
well, I was also just going to say, George, I think a good thing to do is to use this term a lot, and I started using it around my family. I don't really talk to them about this stuff, but I use the term socially exhausted a lot. She'll be like, oh, how's your week? I'm like, oh, it's fine, I'm a bit socially exhausted today. And then, like, I think if I act funny during that, they just kind of go, oh, he's socially exhausted. It's a mental thing. But, like, I don't feel the need to, like, explain it to them fully. But, like, I think if you kind of just say, like, mentally, I'm just a bit tired, I think that's more understanding behind that. But
you that's genuinely like probably the best way to put it. Socially exhausted sums it up.
Yeah.
You also ruined my amazing segue into the next topic.
Anyway, speaking of reality. Oh, I forgot you fucking pre-ordered this.
So the Oculus Quest 2 has come out, and it's awesome. It's really cool. So I've played with VR before, obviously. I feel like everybody on the planet has at this point. But this came out, and it was cheaper than the original. It's got better graphics. It's got a better processing unit in it, so you can play some bigger games. And it's actually amazing.
I have to admit, I've been pretty shit at looking into this, because I know it has a lot of new features, and I know that its haptic feedback is a lot better now. For people who don't know, haptic feedback is the way you feel games. It's very much improved. I've just not looked into it.
Ready Player One and the haptic feedback vest that he's got on that allows him to feel things in the game.
But also, if you're up to date with it, think like PlayStation 5 controller. They're talking about how the triggers have resistance. That's haptic feedback, basically. Vibration is haptic feedback as well, and it's also used to help people with disabilities who can't play games like with their hands. Like most people,
it's like the HD rumble in the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, that sort of thing. Yeah. But this headset is amazing. I got it first and foremost as a console with a secondary sort of premise to lose a bit of weight by like moving in the game and everything. And this does that in a way that like the Wii and the Switch can never do, because those are consoles, but sometimes they can add the gimmick of you have to move in a game. And things like Ring Fit, that is literally just exercise. Wii Fit is just exercise. And in your head, that's still exercise. Man, I've been playing Beat Saber non-stop, and that's a damn good game.
Yeah, and it's got a really good community, because they make levels and they make songs, and so it's never ending.
There was I've also a game that I'd like to shout out. Anybody who has picked up a Quest 2 or even the original Quest with the need to lose a bit of weight, I really suggest a game called Thrill of the Fight. It's a boxing simulator, except you are literally blocking punches, and you have to like reach around their block with like right hooks and everything. My arms are killing me. Like genuinely, they are killing me. And it's literally at the point where you're like ducking and like bobbing underneath and like punching people in the face. And it's genuinely, I played it on the first day I got it, took the headset off, and realized I was drenched in sweat. And was like, did this headset just trick me into doing exercise?
Do you have a lock
without
on
me noticing it?
Your door?
Huh?
Do you have a lock on your door?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good.
Why?
VR is just the time you're more likely to be attacked by your roommates. Yeah.
I genuinely, I lock my door every time I do it, because I don't trust.
I don't blame you. I really don't blame you.
Especially when we've had the boiler man in for like the last week trying to fix our boiler. We've literally had to have a new boiler put in.
I've never heard of that villain before.
The boiler man. Incredibles 3.
Yeah. It does sound like an Incredibles villain, doesn't it?
But no, and I was like really worried that I was going to be like, because I realised I speak to myself whilst I'm playing video games. I don't know if it's because I've gotten into the habit of talking to you whilst I'm playing video games or something like that, but I will commentate to myself whilst playing video games. And I was playing Super Hot.
I love that game. VR as well.
Oh my god. I genuinely felt like John Wick. Genuinely, it gets to a point where you've memorized it enough, because every time that you die, you get hit by a single thing, you die, you go back to the beginning of that segment of stages. So you start memorizing it, and it literally got to a point where I was literally like grabbing a knife, tossing it, grabbing the gun out of the air, bringing it around, and like shooting like 3 people in a row, and then like throwing it behind me and punching the guy in the face who's in front of me. Genuinely, I was like, oh, at one point I think I yelled, "You killed my dog." It was just
and you're like, now the boogeyman has come.
So good. Yeah.
It's
so good.
Have you done that mission where you start behind the desk yet? And there's a staircase up on the right at the back of the room, and a door on the left, and there's pillars all through the middle.
I don't know.
So I played it at Fane. Fane's like a friend of ours who's our old boss from CEX, and we I went to Fane's house and played PlayStation VR, super hot. And that level, there was this point where they all shot, like every single one of them. Exactly, it was just like a fucking barrage. God. I just got on the floor in his living room. I sat behind the table in this virtual space with the guns like this. And as they walked around the corners, I just started doing this.
100%. VR makes you do things that you would never ever do in real life.
No, not
I
at all.
literally, they were like, there's a stage, and you're basically the moment that I realised I could actually take cover, I was like, oh my god, these bullets are not going to hit me behind these barrels. And I was just sat there with a gun, literally like poking my head up and being like, what?
Did you?
At one point, a shotgun was fired at me, and the pellets came towards me, and I literally, really slowly just moved, and I just saw them go past my face like this. I was like, I am Neo.
Did you know that you could like pick up like cleavers and stuff, and you could block the bullets and stuff? Yeah, that's really cool. Oh my god,
it's so good. There's one level where you're in a kitchen, and I picked up the frying pan, and I had an Uzi, and I was literally holding the frying pan out and blocking bullets whilst like firing around with the Uzi.
Have you? You played Super Hot VR on another VR console before, didn't you? Mm-hmm. How does it compare? How does it compare to PlayStation VR to the new one? Like, what new features are you noticing?
So. I don't know. I'm assuming that you've used like a Google Cardboard before, yeah?
No, not at all. My only ever experience of VR is PlayStation VR.
So a problem with a lot of cheap VR headsets is that when you put them on, because your eyes are in such close proximity to the screen, you can see each individual pixel, and they sort of have this warping around them. This headset gets rid of that completely, and a lot of the higher, like the Valve Index and the Oculus. The bigger Oculus Rift headsets and everything, they do that as well. But having it on a console this cheap, and by the way, I'm pretty sure that altogether this console is still cheaper than getting PlayStation VR, like 100%.
You might be right.
It blows it out of the water. It blows it out of the water completely. Considering the fact that this is a standalone headset as well, so you don't need a PC to use it. It's £300 for the PlayStation VR. You're picking up a PlayStation, which I'd suggest getting a Pro just for the...
It's just better. Yeah,
it's just better all round.
But that's like 300 quid in itself, just for the Pro.
Exactly. And then even if you're getting it from a second-hand shop, for example, CEX, we used to take the headset and the cameras and the controllers in separately, which means that you're having to pay, I think it was like close to £100 for the headset, another like 80 depending on the camera that you wanted, and then or the controllers, sorry, and then however much the camera was.
The controllers were the expensive part.
The controllers were the expensive part. Because they were like £80.
Yeah, because they're actually from the PS3 generation of console, but they ended up getting repurposed because they're just the Move controllers. You remember those really shitty ones that had no purpose on the last console?
The answer to the Wii.
Yeah. Well, now they are actually useful for PlayStation VR on the PS4. So what they've done is not manufactured.
VR, which is ridiculous.
So what they're basically doing is not having to redesign a new controller, which has saved them money, and now they've bumped the price up on the Move controllers, so you have to buy them because they're the only ones that work for PlayStation VR. So George is absolutely right. It's so much cheaper just to get a standalone console, which is better because you don't need a console to run it. It is a console.
Yeah.
It's also the most revolutionary bit of kit, as far as I'm aware, other than Valve's VR headset that they made, and I don't think it's for public consumer use. I think it's a VR like for Valve. Yes. But that's quite under the table.
I feel like the best thing about this, which is something I was trying to do yesterday, but trying to get it to work is a little bit of a pain. You can actually plug this headset into a VR ready PC
Okay.
and use it with a PC to play PC games. So if I wanted, I could buy Half-Life Alyx and be playing that on my Quest.
I can't recommend that game. I didn't play it. I watched someone play it. I cannot recommend it enough. That game is revolutionary in what VR can do, and it's just done exactly what Valve did with the first Half-Life game, which has completely changed what was possible. 100%. It's incredible.
I'm so looking forward to the. I'm so looking if they ever want to. Just a Portal game in VR.
Oh, I'd love it.
Like would be so amazing. But no, it comparable to the PlayStation VR, which is the last full-on console headset I used. This blows it out the water. Genuinely, I played Beat Saber and I played Skyrim on PlayStation VR.
Yeah, you love Skyrim as well.
I love Skyrim and the VR. I think I've talked about Skyrim VR on here. Or at least I have talked to you about Skyrim.
We've spoken about it many times. Yeah,
man,
you like the arrows.
You've got like arrows in your bat, and you're literally pulling it back and love it. And I am going to buy Skyrim VR on my PC so that I can play it with the VR headset.
Real quick, have you heard of Squadrons at all?
Oh, Star Wars Squadrons.
You know that's VR too, right? So you could be in a cockpit of like a Star Wars jet, like in space. Like fucking look at it's sick. I love the idea of that. Yeah,
I watched an entire episode of Doctor Who yesterday in a virtual sitting room on Netflix on my VR headset, and it was amazing.
It's like being in a cinema.
Literally, it's like being in a cinema. The YouTube app's awesome as well because you can like position where you want the screen to be. So if you're laid down in bed, you can lay down with the VR headset on, position the screen above you, and just watch something laid in bed.
That's so cool.
It is cool, and you can shrink and grow the screen as well. So if you wanted to make it feel like you were watching it on a TV screen, you can shrink it down. But if you want to make it feel like you're in a cinema, you can like fucking. Like it's big. Like you literally. It was one of those where I'm like looking around the entire screen like this. So good.
That's so cool.
It's really great.
I would be so tempted if the PS5 wasn't coming out, honestly. But there are so many games coming out for the PS5 that I just need in my life.
Yeah,
like Cyberpunk, Mars Morales, Demon Souls remake, Valhalla. Like I just can't justify it.
Of course.
I'm glad you got it though. Is it the I'm assuming they've done, because I know most people like these. Have they done the whole like hovering headphone or ear?
No, They've sort of have. I'll show you actually because seeing this is right here. Oh, I also bought a longer cable for it so I can play it whilst it's charging.
Did you buy that like when you pre-ordered it? Did you have that as an option and it came with it, or did you get it after?
I got this after. It's a third-party cable. Because the Oculus Link cable costs like £80. It's ridiculous, and it's literally just a fucking USB Type-C to a USB 3.
Yeah, fucking just buy another one.
Exactly. But basically these little, I don't know if you can see them properly. The little like slits.
Whoa!
Those are the speakers,
wow.
And they're literally right next to your ear, so you're hearing things in real life, and you're able to hear things in the game at the same time.
What's cool about VR headphones is they're normally 3D space as well. So I know that like next gen are raving about how they've got 3D space, but this has kind of already been doing it for a few years, so it's interesting. That's cool. When did that arrive? When did that come out?
The 13th. It literally, I think it was supposed to be delivered on the 14th, but it came on the 13th.
Okay. Wow. That's cool.
I have a story about it being delivered as well.
Go on.
So the 13th was the day that we went back into self-isolation, back into quarantine. So I had to ring the student village lodge to deliver it to my flat rather than me having to go out and get it. So I called them once it said that it had been delivered and that I got the email and said, "Hey, can I get this? It's really important. I need it for work." So they're like, "Yeah, sure. What flat is it?" And I'm like, "F7." They're like, "Great. Go on then. We'll do that." So I'm waiting for like an hour. I call them again and I'm like, "Hey, an hour ago I called and asked you to deliver this package. I'm self-isolating. I can't come and pick it up myself. Otherwise, I would have had it at 3. Can I get it?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's on the side. Don't worry. Speak to you soon." She hung up. I was like, "Great, awesome. Never mind." Then it came, and it was only the cable that I'd ordered separately. And I was like, "This is the thing that doesn't work without the other thing that I actually need." So I called them back up and was like, "Hey, there should be another package there. It should be a bigger box. And this other woman was like, what flat did you say you were? And so I told them my flat. And then she goes, oh, because you've decided to self-isolate by yourself without any intervention of the lodge, we don't know if we can deliver this to you. And I just went, would you rather me come and pick it up? And she went, if it's not there within the next 2 hours, yeah, come and pick it up. I went down half an hour later, out of my quarantine, literally like masked up and everything, and was like, yeah, I have a package for George Tucker. Gave them my ID. It took them like 5 minutes to find the package because they didn't know where it was. And then I spent the rest of the night playing some Beat Sabers and some Super Hots.
Damn,
it genuinely annoyed me that they turned around and were like, we don't know if we can deliver this because you've decided to self-isolate by yourself. I was like, the other thing was delivered. Why can't you just deliver this too?
Yeah, I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense. Genuinely, because it's not in our flat that this corona test has become positive in. Right. It's in the flat across the way. And by the way, they must not know how to read the social isolating laws because they are not adhering to them at all. They're stood out in the hallway all the time. They're having like friends in the hallway, not in their flat, but in the hallway.
Idiots.
They are idiots. Actual idiots. And it's gotten to the point where one of my flatmates has literally opened the door and gone, get the fuck back in your flat. You're not supposed to be out here. Get back in your flat. Don't let people in your flat. What are you doing? You're spreading a deadly, deadly disease.
Did they have a response to that, or like?
No, they just went back inside, and now whenever they are outside and one of us enters the corridor, they're like, you can literally see them go like, and like shut the door real quick and like walk to the kitchen. It's a degree of power that they should not have given us.
No.
But,
well, I feel like you took it for yourself, really.
Oh, 100%. But when literally lives are at stake, is one of my flatmates wants to visit home and her granddad has to pick her up, which is part of the reason why we're all social distancing now, because we don't want to kill off her granddad. And that's a genuine, like, it sounds funny, but it's a genuine concern.
It feels like there's been quite a bump in situations around Corona at the minute. They're considering another lockdown for one.
Yes, they are, around Halloween, right?
Yeah, around mine and Eve's 3rd year anniversary, which will be the last anniversary that I'm in the country for because I'll be doing a placement next year.
Nice.
So this is fucking annoying, to be honest, because we've been really sensible the whole time, and everyone.
I was going to say, what's happening? Is Eve staying?
So the original kind of plan, it wasn't really like, I didn't really expect her to do it because like she should do what she needs to do. So before we came to Bournemouth, she was doing creative writing at Teesside, and she would have finished when I had gotten to my placement year because I did a foundation and she didn't, and then she was going to come abroad with me and like do a year abroad with me and then come back with me. But she then changed her course, and so her last year will be my placement year. And she doesn't want to defer her year, which I totally understand. I said, don't do it. It's not worth it. I'm thinking, I've been doing a lot of placement planning. I've been looking into where Erasmus, which is the EU sort of, it's a grant, basically. They give you quite a bit of money, 75% of it before you go abroad to help you move, and then the rest of it when you get home, so you have something to live off of whilst you either come back to uni or get a job. It's a grant, you don't have to pay it back at all, but it only covers Europe. So all of the game studios I wanted to do my placement at, I can't get funding
because they were in America, right?
So I'm looking at places like Norway. There's a couple companies there. One of them made Conan Exiles, which is a game that I actually really did enjoy playing, but none of my friends were playing it with me, so I stopped playing it. And I just want to go to Norway for a year. I just think that'd be such a good experience. I'd love it.
Yeah, it would be dope. It would be great.
But I know that cases in Corona, I don't know why we got onto my placement. Oh, anniversary, blah, blah, blah. It's the last one I'm in the country. I'm just pretty annoyed. But, like, there are loads of things going on. So, like, there's this girl that I know. I'm not going to say her name. She probably won't. I'm just annoyed at her because I think this is stupid. Somebody in her flat is getting a Corona test. She was like, this is bad for my mental health, so I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
One, don't do that. That's fucking stupid.
There was
there's a point where your mental health. Yeah.
Literally, the test came through as positive, and she went home.
See, there's a point where your mental health. I totally understand. Mental health is not good, but unless you're going home and your entire family is going to isolate with you for 2 weeks, don't go home because that's not safe. Also, her birthday was that week, and she was going home for her birthday anyway, so she just wanted to go home for her birthday, right? And when she was home for her birthday, she was going out and having coffee, and going out and having... And I was just like, you're an idiot. You're an actual idiot. Like, you're putting other people at risk for... Like, it's not comparable to say bad mental health equals risking other people's physical lives. Like, you need to look after your mental health, but you need to be careful about how you do it.
100%. I was supposed to go home a couple weeks ago, and I didn't in the end. Just because it would have been dangerous, like it would have been, which does mean that now, obviously, I'm still going to aim to get home for Christmas, just because there's not just Christmas, but there's family birthdays happening at the same time and all of that good stuff. But the likelihood is that I'm not going to be able to make it down for my mum's birthday or anything like that. So we're just going to have to make do with Christmas. Weirdly enough, I was thinking about this yesterday. I think I'm going to respect Christmas more this year because I've been away from my family and because I haven't been able to just like go and see my family.
That's really
and even with everything that's going on at the moment, I used to be able to, because my dad came down here every Wednesday. I used to see him every Wednesday. I used to get in the van with him with a mask on and sit at separate sides of the van. We'd go and get McDonald's. I'd have a talk with my dad. Really, really nice. And then, obviously, because of everything that's happened, I can no longer do that. And suddenly, I've started feeling more homesick, just because I've lost that connection to my previous world. Yeah, you know,
that's really interesting to me because I don't appreciate Christmas more because I live with my partner and I have for like over 2 years now. And so when I go home, she goes home, and so she's in Exmouth, I'm in Exeter, and so I don't see her.
Of course.
And like when you go home, people kind of forget that you're a different person. Like for most of the year, I live somewhere else. I have a different life. Eva's not my girlfriend. She is my partner. I've lived with her for more time than I've been with her. I've lived with her. And so like when we suddenly split and go home for Christmas, it just doesn't quite feel right. It's really odd. The only thing I'll say is that it's nice to see people, but it's harder to see people because everyone's like, oh, I want to see you. And I'm like, yes, but everyone wants to see me. And I get socially exhausted. Like, it's the exact same thing. I'm
lucky I get first dibs.
The other thing you'll notice, because you've not actually been home since you've been to uni, right?
No, I haven't.
So it's really fucking weird being home. Like, you come home and you're like, yeah, this is kind of home. This is where I've lived my whole life.
But it's changed in very little ways that I've now noticed.
It's really weird.
When you haven't seen someone in ages and they look like they've lost weight and they don't think they have.
It is a little bit like that.
You feel like that because the last mental image that you have of them is them with, like, food in their face. Like,
yeah. No, it is weird. But it's nice that you feel like you're going to have more of an appreciation of it. Because I think as you get older, you don't appreciate Christmas anyway.
Also, it's like, I don't have the money to be getting people presents this year. Whereas last year and the year before, I had like a steady job, you know? So I almost feel like it's going to be more of a wholesome Christmas because I'm not expecting people to...
It's not grand.
It's not like grand. It's more humbling. I think just to sit down, have a meal with your family, and respect each other for a day.
I told my family, they were like, "What do you want for?" As they do every year. Your family's the same. What do you want for Christmas? And I said to my family,
a PS5.
Funny, the opposite. What I said was, look, Mum has this really stupid rule where she has to spend £70 on all of her kids equally. Like, it's just not a present. She feels like she's not bought us not good enough, but like substantial enough. Adequate was the word I was trying to remember. Present. And I said, look, just get me what you think I'll like. If it's a tenner, I really don't care. Like, just get me what you think. If it's home, I don't care. You don't need to spend £70 on me every single year. I don't care. Like, it's fine. I've changed my mind a little bit since then because there are so many video games coming out. But the point kind of stands that
because economy and everything's getting a bit more expensive.
I just feel like Christmas is a little bit meaningless in my family. It's very much like, what do you want? Okay, I'll just get you that, and it's like, don't you just know what? Like, why don't you know? You talk to me, I speak to you. Why don't you know? So, like, I kind of was forcing that on them. And we'll see how that goes when it comes to Christmas.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Cherry chocolate orange, you're like,
yeah.
Avocado, thanks.
If she got me a Terry's chocolate orange, I'd be fucking over the moon. If she could find the dark chocolate Terry's chocolate orange ball, I would. Yeah, I'd be well happy. They did a white chocolate Terry's chocolate orange. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Me and Eve had been waiting for it, and then it came out suddenly, and I bought it. It's okay. It was quite underwhelming.
Nice.
But yeah, Christmas is gonna be interesting this year, I think.
Yeah. Especially because it's like usually we'd see each other on like Boxing Day or between like New Year's and Christmas, you know?
Well, it was different last year, year before. Oh, God, was it 2 years ago when you were living in your old house?
Yes, yeah, it would have been.
Fuck, that was so long ago now. I was just going to say that, like, it would be that because we both lived in St. Thomas in the same area, I would just kind of come up to your house real quick, be like, hey, hello everyone, love you, happy Christmas.
What was it? The New Year's where we went to get custard and it took us an hour because we like went all the way around the fields at the top of the road and like got covered in mud and we passed your mum on the way back down to get the custard. Yeah. Oh,
that was good. Yeah, because I stayed at yours the night before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was good. I loved you living in Exeter, and I say that like you only lived there briefly. You lived there my like entire life.
Our entire life we've lived in Exeter.
But then you moved out to a more remote area, and I actually hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah,
because like
same.
It's like fine, you get the bus in, you never really complain about it, but it's just a bit like it used to be. Hey, I'll meet you here. It's like down the road.
Yeah, it literally used to be like, oh, I'll be at yours in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey George, coming over, and you'll be like, yeah, I'll leave now.
Yeah, sure, I'm leaving now. Hang on. It genuinely, I do miss it. I miss being in that convenient area where I'm literally a 5-minute walk from all of my closest friends.
We're complaining about you living in this remote area, but not the fact that you're now in Cornwall.
Now in Cornwall.
And I'm further along now from Exeter too, so we're even further away than we were before. You know, that's what Cuzplays is about.
You lived in Middlesbrough, so
yeah. I mean, that for people who don't really actually know, Middlesbrough is from Exeter, which is. It's like it's southwest, but it's not the very bottom of the southwest.
I guess it's a 6-7 hour drive, isn't it?
It's a 6-hour drive. The train was so expensive. Me and Eve used to fly home because it was cheaper for a return ticket, and the flight took an hour flying. You know, with jet engines flying, it took an hour still. But 6 hours in a car. Yeah, it's only 2 hours ish now, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think we're both like at the same distance, but
definitely,
in opposite directions.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a bit annoying because me and Eve came home to be a bit closer to family because it was so like I didn't see my mum that entire year because she just couldn't afford to do it.
Of course.
And I'm like, oh, I'll come home to be close to family, and then Corona. So, and it was also like in Middlesbrough, I got really. I'm not gonna say fat. It's very derogatory. I was the biggest I've ever been in Middlesbrough. Eve would probably agree. She was also the same. We just didn't go outside. There's nothing to do there. It's just pubs and shit parks that people smoke weed in. That's all it is. I hated it. Well, so I sat inside all the time. Yeah, except this was the only park, and that was all it was. And I was like, you know, we'll be outside more because Bournemouth's really lovely, but then there's lockdown, and it was just like, oh, all these reasons we moved, and I'm not going to appreciate them. So
well, you're looking well now, man.
I lost all of that weight.
I was going to say, you're looking good.
I lost all of that weight in Exeter in the summer, straight after Middlesbrough. It took 2 weeks of just being outside again.
Yeah.
Like, I have my whole life been about the same weight.
Metabolic rate like that. Oh.
Oh. But I think it's just.
I only wish.
I think it's my body's default, to be honest, because I've kind of been the same weight my whole life.
You're a very big baby.
I'm a very big. Yeah, I mean, I came out 6'1".
Yeah. You're wearing your mum like a skin suit.
Oh, gross. Anyway, George, what else did you want to talk about?
Oh, what else was it? There were other things that I needed to talk about. I completely forgot what it was. Oh, I got a Lego set the other day.
Of course. Why? Of course.
I'll show you. So I've done my calculations, and from my I'm stopping spending money now.
Okay.
I have to stop spending money because it got a bit ridiculous. Spent £300 on a headset and then like a bunch of money on like food and stuff. But I've stopped so that I have about £40 a week to live on, which is plenty enough. It's loads enough, and I'll have stuff left over to saving and everything. But I bought a Lego set.
George, £40 a week. Do you know how much I'm living off of right now?
I bet it's more.
How much
are you living on?
So I'm living off of maybe about 80 a month. George,
Oh, wow.
I have to tell you something.
What?
I've been in a bit of a fucking Batman mood for the last like 3 weeks.
And
It's been non-stop, and I am so happy you got that.
Same. Genuinely same. Look at it. It's so cool.
Have you ever seen the Dark Knight Return animated 2-part movie?
No, I haven't.
Do you know what it is? What form of Batman it is?
It's not Lego Batman, is it?
No. Okay.
It's the it's go on. It's
the basic premise is that Batman's been retired for 10 years. He's fucking old, old. And Gotham kind of goes to shit, and he gets tired of it. He gets fed up, and like Two-Face, Bruce Wayne's putting all of his money into rehab for all of these villains that everyone knows, Two-Face, Joker, all of this stuff. Yeah. And he gets reformed, and he gets his face fixed. Like Bruce Wayne pays to fund to have plastic surgery done, so he's not Two-Face anymore. And then they let him go. They put him back into the world. He did his time, and then he just goes missing off his parole and starts committing crimes instantly. And Bruce Wayne like grips his glass and smashes it, and he's fucking stacked. He's got a fat chin, he's got like a Tom Selleck mustache on, and he's like fucking angry. And then one morning Alfred's like, you shaved, when did you do that, sir? And he's like, huh? And he feels it, and he goes, oh. He's like, I didn't even like realize I shaved. And it was just him slowly falling back into that habit of Batman. And he puts back on the suit, and he's old, and he's brutal, and he's mad at the world, and he's like grunting and like cracking his back as he goes around, and he's like beating the shit out of people. And there's a scene where he like one of the villains is like, oh, I'll shoot her, and he's like, I know. And then he fucking just punches him in the face, takes his shotgun out of the air, and just snaps it in half. And he's like,
I'm gonna have to watch it.
I'm gonna show you a sketch I did. I was so into this thing, George, honestly. That's the wrong sketchbook. I felt like drawing, just this one. Nice. I don't feel like going back to drawing very often, as you know. But I was so inspired, and I think that my modelling for animation is going to be this version of Batman, because I just fucking love him. This is what that Batman looks like.
Oh, you know what? I've seen clips. I have seen clips of this Batman.
And the voice actor is amazing. His voice is so deep and velvety and just like almost sometimes gravelly. And it's a 2-parter, and it's so good. And it kind of put me into a spiral of watching every single Batman animated movie in basically the current continuity.
I really want to
Justice
watch
League.
Killing Joke. It's
so good. Like, so good. But I can give you a full list, right? And it's basically the lead up to the newest Justice League animated movie. It's every movie in that continuity in order. And so it's like, it shows Flashpoint, the JLA first getting together, all of the Batman ones, 2 Superman ones, a Wonder Woman one, stuff like that. A couple Constantine, which are quite good. Except the only version I could find of watching Constantine, the actual movie that he's in, it's his, was in French. So you don't really quite get the Liverpudlian demon hunting a dark artist. You just get a oui, and it's felt really weird. And so, but yeah, I so recommend it, George, because some of the animation is like, in one of the movies, it's the Under the Red Hood. This wasn't part of current continuity. I just felt like watching this. I've seen it before. It's called Under the Red Hood. It's about the story of Red Hood. And there's a scene where this car gets thrown at Batman. And as it tumbles through, when the car door gets to his side, he runs through the car out the other side and just punches the guy in the face. And I was like, and the camera goes through the car, like following him as the car tumbles. It's so good. Like, amazing. But they've been so good because they all follow like the different Robins and like different points in that Batman's life, and they show like his son Damian Wayne taking over as Robin and all of that. It's so good. I really recommend it. There's a couple of Teen Titan movies in there that are actually quite good as well. I've not finished them all yet. I've got like 5 more movies. There are so many of them, but they're only like an hour and 20, so it's quite nice just to chuck on for a little bit whilst you do something else.
And it's not the MCU.
No.
which is nice.
Yeah. It's really good though. I really recommend it. I think you would like them because they're all kind of slightly different animation styles as well, which is quite refreshing.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been on such a Batman mood, so that's just so funny that
I was like, I went into Truro the other day with a couple of friends and just ended. Oh shit! You know that moment where you pick up a Lego set and it just starts breaking apart,
and you see a bit and you're like, I don't know where this goes.
I have no idea where that's just gone. Oh, actually, I think it was just a piece of paper, unless I find a Lego brick later. But no, they were having a sale on at the Entertainer, and I was like, yo. It was like you spend over £20 and you get £5 off, and I was like, yeah, why not? So I got this and a plush for a friend. But yeah, I was really chuffed with this. I was sat in the kitchen like building Lego, and everybody came in and just started watching me like building this Lego set.
I really wanted something Batman memorabilia.
This is a gateway drug, by the way. It is,
definitely.
I need to not buy Lego, but now I really want to buy more Lego, but I have nowhere to put it.
There's a statue I really want. Because I just really wanted something Batman, and like Lego's quite a good idea.
Yeah. And I got this little Joker, and I've always wanted a little Lego Joker. I don't know why I always wanted a little Lego Joker.
I don't know why.
Now I wanted one on my life. Now that I have one, I wanted one on my life.
I remember that this is. This isn't the one I wanted. Oh fuck! I've got to find it, George, because it's such a good statue. Like honestly. And it wasn't very expensive. It was like fine, but I probably wouldn't get it still because
is it by chance £70?
It actually is as well. That's the funny thing. I don't know. But I'll maybe find it another time. The Dark Knight Returns movies is also where unfortunately, Zack Snyder got a lot of his idea for Batman vs Superman. So the fight between Batman and Superman happens in that comic book, and the suit that he makes is from that comic book. And he's like, it's just so much better in the animation. He's like pummeling the shit out of Superman and being like, you know, that arrow of kryptonite that took absolutely years and like fortunes to make, and that's all I had for the last 10 years is both of those things, and if I wanted it to kill you I could have, so just remember that I'm the guy who made you bleed but didn't kill you. He's just like beating the shit out of him on the floor. It's so good.
A real big Henry Cavill high at the moment.
I love Henry Cavill. I think people who hate him
he's one of my favourite people on the planet at the moment.
Yeah.
It's the story that he missed his calling to the role of Superman
because
he was playing WoW. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Absolutely love it. And I've been rewatching The Witcher.
You did watch that all the way through in the first place?
Yeah,
then?
I didn't watched it all the way through in the first place.
Dude, have you seen all of the like stuff about the new season?
No, I haven't.
You're seeing like the person who's playing Siri, Freya Allen, I think she's called. That might be wrong. She's like wearing like bits of armor, and like Henry Cavill's got like proper armor, like almost like plate armor on him.
I was gonna say,
Jason
I think the next
in
series is based off of the book that I'm reading at the moment, so I'm trying to stay away from it because I just don't want spoilers. But I'm almost through this book now, and then I will be reading the next one. But I've told you about my annoying first book problem with The Witcher, right?
That was the last family gathering. I think we had spoken about how
it was. It's very annoying, but I need to. And again, I see what you mean now. I'm trying to find the same cover to the one that I have there of Last Wish, which is like the introduction of The Witcher. And I can only find the one that's like a picture of Henry Cavill.
And I love him, but
I just don't want that. I have. My copy of Good Omens is ruined by David Tennant, and y'all know how much I love David Tennant.
Yeah, that's not.
But the fact he's on the front cover, I just feel like makes it feel less legitimate as a book. You
should be excited that there's a book and a TV show, not try and make them the same thing. But they always do. They always do it. Like
even with the Blood of Elves book that I have at the moment, it's got now a Netflix series blopped onto the front. You know.
On a non-removable like sticker-looking thing as well. Yes. That's usually how they do it. It's the worst. I can't stand it.
Apart from that, the cover actually looks quite nice, but like, it's fine. I prefer the original covers, like the one that you showed me the other day.
Yeah, because it's original art before there were actual visual representations of these characters.
It's really nice.
I like that. It's more like how the Andrei Shropsky or whatever he's called first imagined them. So
yeah,
I cannot open this box. I don't know if it's something I was born with or
maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's quarantine.
Maybe it's quarantine.
Still one of our best off-camera jokes, I think. I'll just tear the box. That's the solution, apparently.
Do it.
Sorted. Christ, that's a bit smaller than I thought that was gonna be. I kind of ran out of some beard stuff, and I've been having issues the last week or so with my beard that I hadn't had before, and I did some research. But apparently, if you have curly beards, thick my beard. If you have my beard, apparently if you use I started using this old brush that Eve had, like a not a toothed one, but like the ones like the one Nanny bought us both when we were really, really young, that sort of one.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Because what you're meant to do with beards is brush with these brushes.
Yeah.
Because they're really, really good for untangling without damaging anything. It said explicitly don't use plastic ones, which is the one that Eve had, and because it causes really bad irritation on the skin, and that's what I've been having. My oil's running out. I have no beard balm. I need to start conditioning my beard because I'm noticing that's an issue too. And so I just found this kit for like 11 quid. It's actually 16 quid, but they for some reason gave me £5 off, so I only got it for 11.
Nice.
And it comes with beard scissors.
Ooh.
A new beard comb.
Nice.
Which is less pulling hairs out and stuff. This that I already showed. Oil.
Nice.
Conditioner.
Nice.
Balm.
Nice.
Normally £8. £8.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, £8. £15. £8. 11 quid for all of it. I thought that was the perfect time to try it, that's what just arrived in the post. So I'm excited because my beard feels like shit. I was gonna have a shower after this and just kind of groom the fuck out of this beard.
have a self-care Friday.
Self-care Friday. Yeah, I like that.
Self-care Friday.
Everyone should.
I mean, it's usually a self-care Sunday. Is my sort of routine. I'll like have a nice long shower on a Sunday and like shave everything up and.
Well, yes, because I don't shave and I have to do that, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
My Sundays are mostly just every other day. Except I stream at like 10 o'clock till something and try and play something a bit more chilled. My chill game has been Link's Awakening.
I've been seeing the notifications coming up on my phone. How are you enjoying it?
A Link's Awakening or streaming?
A Link's Awakening.
Good.
Is this the first time you played through it, or
no? Because remember, we were playing through it at the same time, and me and you hit the exact same dungeon.
I completed it like 3 weeks before you did.
Well, no, I didn't complete it though, because me and you spoke, and we had both gotten to the exact same dungeon and kind of got on board.
Right,
we stopped for ages, and I just didn't go back to it, and you did. So I started again.
I went back to it that night, and I think like almost finished the game. So.
But I thought it'd be a nice, chill Sunday-based thing. So I'll probably play that again this Sunday because it's been a few weeks since I touched it. Because Eve's been free, and she's been playing Spider-Man PS4 on stream.
Nice.
Because she didn't watch me play it, so I thought, hey, play it on easiest mode because it's actually quite user-friendly. She's been really enjoying it, so. I'm just trying to get excited for Miles Morales because she really wanted to see Miles Morales, but she hadn't watched the full entirety of the first one. So, but yeah, it's fun. I really love the style of it, and I do think it's really relaxed as a game. I don't really have a lot of games that are that relaxed, other than like Spyro, which I'd kind of started with Eve, so I feel pretty bad if I just took that over on stream.
Yeah, man, Spyro is so good. I love Spyro. First video game I ever played was Spyro 1 on PS1.
I don't know what my first ever game was. I feel like it was Spyro at Grandad's because he had it on the PC in the back room. As in our granddad, not my granddad. But I don't think he ever played it. I think he bought it for the kids.
I was gonna say, I actually think that it wasn't on the back room. It was the same PS1 that I played it on.
Maybe
because it was actually my dad's PS1 that he gave to Nanny and Grandad for the playroom.
Yeah,
because obviously
used
there
to
were
be
a lot
the
of
office
young
playroom. Yeah,
kids and everything. Because it was that and Monsters Inc. Scare Island, wasn't it?
yeah, that's what the back room was though. That was the games room, right?
It wasn't
It was the top of the stairs. It used to be. It's
no,
next to
that
the
was that was always Grandad's studio.
Yeah, but that's where I remember seeing Spyro all the time. And actually, I think it was a PC version. No, it was PlayStation 1, though, right? It was PlayStation 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it was our PS1. Oh, man. We both got our start on the same console.
Yeah, likely. Well, yeah. I remember the first game I played consistently was GTA San Andreas. I was probably like 7. I just love that game. I love that game because you could just chuck in Cars Could Fly and just do whatever you wanted. It was great.
Yeah.
I never really played the story. I've still never played the story all the way through. The first game I actually consistently played all the way through and got me into video games was Assassin's Creed 2. So, which they've been showing quite a lot of gameplay for Valhalla, and I'm really excited now. I was already excited, but
yes,
yeah. It's good.
100%.
I'm glad we're doing this today because tomorrow I'm scouting out a shopping centre in Castle Point for PlayStation 5 acquisition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I see.
Because I didn't get a pre-order. I didn't really try, to be honest. And also, I thought if I don't,
Sony just drop them randomly on Twitter?
Pretty
they were
much.
like, "Oh yeah, here's this," and then it was just PlayStation 5 pre-orders.
Guy from my uni called Ben was like, "Oh, I just got one on game. I just got a pre-order. I don't even know how I did that." And I was like, "I don't even fucking know they were doing it." And I'm just, well done. But I decided that even if I pre-ordered it, I probably would get it on the day because of all the emails people are getting saying you won't receive it.
Yeah.
So me and Eve came up with a plan. We're going to cycle to Castle Point, which is apparently a 25-minute cycle. It's a huge shopping centre. It's got loads of shops. It's got I think it's got like a John Lewis. It's got a game, I think. It's got an Argos. It's got stuff like that. So me and
bloody
Eve,
Argos.
I think so.
I love the fact that Argos is up there with John Lewis in game.
Well, they're all places that sell consoles.
Sell PS5s
and so the plan is we thought about a couple areas we could go, but we figured although everyone might go there, there's probably more of a chance of getting something because there's more options. So me and Eve are going to go there. She's going to draw £400 out of her savings. I'm going to get my £400 saving for the PlayStation 5, and we're just going to split up. We're gonna go there tomorrow on our bikes. We're gonna write down what shops are next to each other, and she'll get those shops that are clustered, and we're just gonna go, and we're just gonna get a PlayStation 5. It's a plan.
Proper SWAT mission.
Yeah, yeah. If we have to knock people out, I'll do it. Yeah.
That sounds so good.
Actually scouting it out.
Yeah.
I need it. I need the PlayStation 5, especially after that user interface video that I just made you watch before this. Like,
yes.
I'm even more excited because I've wondered what it's actually going to look like on screen for a while. So, I'm very excited. Cannot wait.
I bet you are. I think I'm going to be picking one up in January.
Oh yeah.
Just because that's when the next student loan comes through, and that's when I'm most likely going to be able to afford it.
What?
But I do want to pick one up.
How did you have so much money right now?
Because I got my last pay from CEX.
Oh, right, yeah, okay, cool.
And it was all holiday pay, so I got like £300 more than I usually would.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's how I was able to afford the quest.
I was gonna say, because I remember last time I spoke to you about money, you were like, I only have this much to live on. And I was like, fucking how? I have so much, and I rent so much more and stuff, but your rent is ridiculous, and I split everything with Eve anyway.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper for me. So I'm
low key looking forward to next year when I don't have to live in student dorms and I've got like my own place with friends that I can split rent with. Like, it's gonna be so much cheaper.
It will be
the same student rent.
Yeah, it will be a lot cheaper, but also depending on how you live, you can make the bills cheaper too.
Yeah, of course.
That's always lovely. It's great. But yeah, it should be better for you next year in that regard. So I hope that's the case.
In diddly doodly diddly dee.
Diddly doodly diddly dee. Yeah.
In diddly diddly doo. Yeah, I have to do a shit ton of work.
Did you say you have something due at 4?
Yes, I do. It's basically we have a 3D modeling thing where they've given us character models that we have to pose in dynamic poses using line of action and stuff. So I've done 7 of those. I've got to do another 3, and it's due in at 4.
Why are you talking to me?
Because it's not like a difficult thing.
Okay.
I just have to pick up some reference, and
it's just funny because you're handing in stuff already, and like I've not even gotten the briefs for my stuff.
They do this thing called soft deadlines where you're basically giving in things that aren't necessary, but you'll need them by the end of the year. So it's best do them now and keep them somewhere safe.
So what we used to have last year, like for modeling, they would be like, here are some, like, you have to go through this PDF and model a tank like they tell you to, and then I'll like mark it for you just so you can see where you're at.
Yeah, that's what I
didn't do them because I already did a year of modeling and I was just fucking over it. I hate modeling. I've said before.
Yeah.
So I didn't do those, but they weren't
not
necessary.
Intuitive at all.
No.
I am very much looking forward to getting some sort of art program on the Oculus, because
you can get sculpting things where you actually like mold clay and stuff. It's awesome.
I really want to take a look, because there's I don't know how to get to it, but there's a thing on here called the Quill browser.
Okay.
And it's basically people upload their own like 3D animations that they have sculpted and everything, and like position like cameras in places, so it immerses you in this environment that somebody has built. Just with a paintbrush in their VR headset.
There's something
which I really want to try and do.
There's something I really, really want to try that I've not invested in yet, and I think you should invest in it because it's quite intuitive, and it's basically a tool to help people get into something they've never done before, and it's PlayStation Dreams.
Okay.
Which is basically a game that's made by the people who made Little Big Planet, that company. Yeah. They made this game that is making games in Dreams. So you can just drag and drop different map things. You can make things in it. You can like model in it. It's VR. You can do it like that if you want to.
God.
And you can just make games. Like it would be such a good. I kind of want it because I thought it'd be a really, really good proof of concept for game design. Because I don't want to be a coder. I don't want to be a modeler. I want to tell stories and design games, which is like, how can we make this combat good? How do we balance this? What sort of style are you going for? Stuff like that. And I think Dreams is a really good way to put my ideas onto portfolios and stuff, because I'm doing my portfolio now and I'm thinking I have so many ideas that are in my head, but I don't know how to put them onto a portfolio form because there's stories and stuff and gameplay design.
We have to basically, our aim for the end of the year is to create a portfolio, a first year portfolio, which is why they keep giving us these soft deadlines each week. But it means that literally I'm already swamped by work, and I have been told by many, many sources that as the year goes on, there's more and more work piled on top of the stuff. Yeah. And it's such like, you just have to get it done.
2 seconds really quickly. Evie,
yeah, go on.
Do you want to just make lunch without me? Because I don't know how hungry I am. Just got an email. Are you unsure about what sort of thing you want? The staple, when there are beans in there enough for one, I think, so. But I'll sit it with you. With a coffee, I think. Okay, yeah, sorry, go on.
I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying how the workload gets more and more.
Oh, right, yeah, so the workload that you get, each week they add on like an extra little bit that you have to do, so it slowly gets more and more, and I'm doing really bad with the reading tests and stuff, just because I'm a really slow reader. I read very slowly. I try to take it all in.
Reading tests.
Basically, they give us a text to read, and then we have to answer questions about it, and that's part of our grade by the end of the year. Apparently, at the moment, I'm hitting the low 40s, which is a passing mark, and I'm like 4 weeks in, and that's not great. So I
really
need to be doing that a little more.
Tests anyway. I can have all the knowledge in the world, I won't perform in a test. I just can't do it. It's just stress disorder. I can't help it. It's like, example would be college. Like in classical studies, I was just B's and A's and A stars the entire year on every single essay, and then it came to the actual exams and it was a lot worse because I just can't do exams. I have one this year, unfortunately, but hopefully it's not a written exam. We've never had one in this course before. It's on business studies. I have a module on that.
Okay.
Hopefully it's multiple choice, because I'm looking at the fucking lecture. basically the guy who's teaching it, because the guy who originally taught it left, is actually not a teacher. He works for a company using games technology in real world application.
Okay.
So he he plans construction rigs and how they work in a game space, and then they make it from the game space. Yeah, it's really interesting.
He plays Polybridge.
Yeah, he does. That's actually the software he uses. And he can only teach us on one day of the week. So he teaches my entire year, every single group, one after the other, for an entire day on a Tuesday. So I have to do a lecture, 2-hour break, seminar, hour break, lecture. Okay, it took me 8 A4 pages just to do the lecture, first lecture. I looked at the seminar, it was over 30 slides long. And so I was so brain frazzled at that point.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't really want to take notes on this right now, so I'm going to try and do some later today. But I've got to get tested on this, and it's like the workload is like what my whole GCSE studies were in business studies. And I'm like, why is this so much in one module? And I don't know what I have to know for the exam. They've not told us or anything. So, yeah, I'm not excited about that. But everything else is project. So the only thing I'm worried, and I'm worried about you for this case, which I'm going to say this because you want to do a placement. I'm now at the point where I have to look at placement.
Yes.
I'm looking at my portfolio that I have to send off at some point. I'm pretty early on people because like a lot of them won't do it until like beginning of next year. I've already started looking and looked at all the options. I just need to do things to put in my portfolio, and I just don't feel like I have enough because I didn't have all of these soft deadlines that you have in the stuff that I actually want to do. Like, people could say, you should have done the soft deadlines for modelling, but I don't want to do modelling. I don't want to put modelling on my portfolio because then they'll go, do you want to do portfolio? Do you want to do modelling? And I'll be like, no, I'd rather die. I don't want to do modelling. So I'm just trying to figure out how it's best to do that. I think I'm going to try and make a game with 2 mates of mine. That's pretty simple, 2D sort of thing. And just make short stuff like that that's really good quality and polished that just show that I can reach that level, maybe.
Nice.
We'll see. And if not, I'm going to do some research into how to best put design documentation onto portfolios and stuff. Because that stuff's good to have, I think.
Nice.
Well, I'm telling you that because just like it's a good job you're doing portfolio now, basically, is what I'm getting.
Yes. I was talking to one of my flatmates that's also is on the same course as me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to her a minute ago whilst I was getting my lunch, and she was saying how she was having to explain to her roommate that we have 3 separate animation tasks to do every week, bearing in mind how long animation takes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 3 different kinds of it. So we have a 2D, a stop motion, and a 3D animation thing to do every single week, and they get updated on the Saturday. So it's a long and arduous process to get everything done, especially when you've got like 2D animation. I hate to say it, but for me personally, because of the stuff that I have, the graphics tablet and everything else, and just the previous knowledge that I have, it comes easy.
It's kind of what you've been doing before.
It's what I've been doing for years. I can draw stuff out, but my flatmate was genuinely stroke. Last week we had a character turnaround, just like turning of the head like this, and a walk cycle to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she genuinely couldn't do it. She was like, I looked it up, I could not do it. I was doing this, that, and the other, and just because of the amount of stress that she had to move on, and she ended up having to submit something that just wasn't good at all. She did the key frames, which was, say these are legs,
mm-hmm.
that, and that. And like, that's the key frames.
Okay.
So she just had this going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's okay to accept that you struggle.
Yeah, 100% it is. 100%. I feel like that's where a lot of people don't ask for help enough. If you need help, ask for it in any sort of situation in your life. If you feel like you're up to here in the water and you're slowly
don't just drown.
sinking down,
yeah.
Don't drown in the water. Ask for help. Blow your whistle.
I think your uni's done a really good job then at giving you stuff to put in your portfolio, because
100%
animation seems to be a like have you got theory at all?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what the reading stuff is, and that's what the we have like theory seminars. So I'm still learning. I'm so glad that I did media studies. So glad, because it means that they're basically just recapping what I've done in the last like couple of years of media.
So it's somewhat familiar to you.
Yeah, it's familiar, and I know for a fact that if I hadn't done that, I would be way in over my head. I wouldn't know what was going on half the time. I wouldn't know what representation was or anything like that. I wouldn't know how the media works in order to produce things that are appealing to the media, you know? And I'm just lucky that I've had the education that I've had. Considering the fact that I haven't had a formal education in animation before, I have had a formal education in everything around animation that sort of holds it up, you know?
I'm muting myself, so I just I kind of forgot. I literally only did it 2 seconds ago because Eve needed to set a timer, and I just muted it so she could do that. And then I went to talk, and I'd only just hit the button, and I just forgot that I'd muted myself completely. My course has got quite a lot of theory in it, and I feel like that lets us down because all of the stuff you can put in your portfolio is kind of an own time thing.
Yes.
Games design is not easy in the sense of like, to me, I like to realize the thought. I like to see it, but I'm not an amazing drawer. I'm not good at drawing when I need to be at the certain things. And that's why I feel like dreams would be a good idea, because I could kind of visualize my idea and put that somewhere. But
do modeling, get models. Like I'm not talking about 3D modeling. I'm talking about like getting some like clay and shit like that, and getting a bit craftsy with it, and like trying to build something like that just to be able to visualize it and see it in front of you.
Like, it's not for me.
Either
I can see it,
or learn to draw.
It's fine. It's finding a way to put what I'm seeing somewhere employers can see it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't just make that game in my head like that. I can't just go like that. I need to know to code, to animate, to model, to, you know, it's just, that's what game design. I think some people are a bit confused when they take the course. They think games design is about doing it all. It's about knowing to model, to code, to animate for modeling, animate models and to model for animation and all of that stuff. It's not. It's about figuring out what thing you want to focus in.
Yeah.
And one of them is narrative design and level design. I love both of those. I really do. The only thing I struggle with level design at the minute is that assets and stuff are hard to come by, but I can do blockouts and stuff like that. But it's it's difficult because I can't just make the game in my head. Like, I have so many big, quite over the top ideas for games that I couldn't make at uni, and it's just not something you can do. So I need to talk to someone about that. I think
finding the time to do personal projects. Me thinking that I could do personal projects at university was a big dum-dum. Like, I genuinely do not have the time to sit down and go, spent all day animating, let's do some animating. Like, I mentally cannot do that.
Make sure you're getting up and walking and stretching and stuff.
Yes, yeah. That's what the VR's for.
Well, I just mean because there's been quite a like uproar of artists on Twitter over the last month saying, like, look, it's not, don't be that person who says, like, oh, I'm getting back on the grind, and then you sit at your desk for 6 hours drawing. Yeah. We, as adult professional artists, did this at your age. I physically saw the spit come out of my mouth then.
Yes, I was going to mention it, but thought we'd let it pass.
Gross.
Glad you brought it up.
They said, you know, I was your age. I'm now a professional artist. I have long-term, forever, rest of my life back issues from doing this. You need to, like, draw for an hour, get up, walk, do a little stretch, sit it down, stand up if you can. If you have a space to stand up, do it.
I really want to get a standing desk. Obviously, in a university dorm, I can't.
No, I want one so bad, George, but they're not the cheapest. I'll put it that way.
No, I know they're not.
You can actually get. I think it's a good solution. You can get just the legs for like £100. So
you can just add them to a table and go. Nice.
I've got a desk top, like the actual desk part is it's got a shit ton of screw holes in the bottom of it, to fit any variation of leg that you decide to get from the company. And so I could probably just get the legs and put them on this.
No, I really hope that in the thumbnail for this week, behind you, there's just like a desk.
Guy on a desk just going like this. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But I've always sort of done. I always felt it's such a stupid thing. It's just like a very OCD thing in my head. I've always felt that if I had a standing desk, I would be 10 times more productive. I've always been so obsessed with this idea of if I could just stand up and work, I'd be getting so much shit done. But in reality, it'd probably be the same.
I don't know. I feel like it's because in my head that correlates with, you know, when you ask a teacher for help and they stand at the desk and they're like spread out like like this. I'm like, dude, I don't have to do that.
I don't know if it's so much that.
I want to be able to walk over and be like, yeah, what's going on? And the desk comes up to here on me and I'm stood up and I'm drawing away and like
I like
moving around.
For you, it's important, especially because of like posture, right? You're drawing. For me, I'm just taking notes a lot of the time, and the way that my desk is, and the way that my not even computer chair is, like come on, it's horrible. It hurts my back just sitting here. But I'm writing like this.
Yeah.
On the desk, it's horrible. I want the desk
to
stand up on. You know?
Get yourself. It might be a little bit difficult, but I think they sell them in the work still. Get yourself one of these, just to write on. Genuinely, they help. When I used to draw on a flat surface, my neck used to hurt. My neck used to hurt where I was like crouched down like this. My shoulders and my neck would actually like start creating pain very, very quickly. And then I got one of those, and now because it's in front of me like this, you're not having to like bend your neck down. You are literally just doing
I know that if anyone wants to buy them, please make an offer for them. On Spock Classic selling site, I've put my amplifiers because they are there's nothing wrong with them except for like the battery thing underneath one of them is snapped, but you just put the battery in and put it on the table, you won't know. And also it's powered through the CAD because I've got like a little head which controls your amp more, and then I've got the actual amp, and it's tiny, it fits underneath my monitor. But they're orange ones, and they're quite famous. One's called the Micro Terror, and one's called the Micro Crush. Yeah, Crush. But they're kind of modeled to sound after early AC/DC. Nice. So they're really crunchy, and I don't really like that anymore. I want really clear tones. And so average retail price for these are about 160 quid for both. I'm selling them for about 135 because I don't want to sell the cables. I want to keep my jacks. And so what I've said is the money you'll save buying the second hand, you can get cables instead of buying for 160 and then buying cables. Nobody's bought them yet, annoyingly, because I put a bike on Spock and it went like the next day.
Bikes are a hot necessity though. Like, everybody wants a bike during lockdown.
It's just a bit. I was kind of originally going to get another practice amp, but I'm thinking I might invest it into either a desk chair or a standing desk legs.
Yeah.
Because I just can't. Now I'm working from home, obviously. Like, this is agony. It's horrible.
I bet it is.
Like,
and you've had a history of back problems before as well.
I'm not good with back issues, no.
Yeah, which doesn't help.
But
mine's literally like, my chair that I'm in at the moment is the equivalent to one that you'd have seen at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not very comfortable.
I think the issue...
I feel like I should be rocking on it a lot.
Yours might be a little bit better purely because, like, mine is too big to go under my desk, which means
so you're leaning forward like,
George, there is this much space between me and my desk, and so, like, I'm sat like this, or like this, but if I'm on a Zoom call, or like, I don't use my webcam anyway, so the other day I was on Microsoft Teams for 3 hours doing training for my job, and I put my webcam on for the like second half of that, and so I had to sit like at the back and down a bit like, like this. Because I was just off screen, I was like, yeah, hello, like, wasn't good.
Would you like my chin?
But yeah, I need something like that, because,
yes.
You should look after yourself. You're sat at home now, all the time. I spend my entire day sat in this chair, so just do something.
I would get either that or a standing desk.
I've always wanted a standing desk.
I was gonna say, you have to think, would you prefer to be sitting down all day or standing all day?
I think
and I've got a feeling your answer is standing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Standing, like, after a while, you just forget that you're standing.
CEX, we know.
Oh, 100%, yeah, CEX.
But also, I just do feel like I'd be more productive stood up. I don't know why. It's such a weird thing to think would solve all my problems. It's like when people get a headache or, like, find out their terminal and they just go, glass of water, I'll be fine. Like, I just need a glass of water. It's the same thing for me right now. I just need a standing desk and I will be the most productive person you'll ever meet. I promise.
Good.
Always wanted one, though. Always. But yeah, I should probably leave you, George.
Yeah, I do. I've got a deadline to meet in an hour and a half.
Yeah, you should have just said no. We should have just done this another time.
Genuinely, I haven't spoken to you in ages. It's been really
2 weeks.
Nice to catch up.
2 weeks. Did you get to talk about everything you wanted to?
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember anything that I didn't want to talk about.
Quick question, something you probably don't want to talk about. The animated short.
Yes.
That nobody knows about, but I'm just curious. I know you're really, really busy. I was just wondering if you had at all had any chance.
I haven't been able to touch it at all. I'm constantly trying to, like I say, I getting in the headspace to finish animation work and then immediately open up a new file and continue animating. It's a big, like, jump. Because I really want to get it done. Yeah. And knowing that it's there on my conscience, it's like I should do some stuff on it. I haven't been able to, though.
Yeah, but don't stress over it. You've got uni. I only asked because Fane hopped into my stream yesterday afternoon, and was like, "Hey, has George done that animation show? I'm just really curious. I want to see it." And I was like, for many reasons. Many reasons it's just not been done, which is fine because we started posting other stuff and me and you decided after we realized that deadline wasn't going to be reached because of uni and stuff, like it was just going to be released at any point in the future. It's not a big deal. I mean, George, we filmed like 4 episodes of
the lost episode when we
I do too.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a poster for it and stuff.
I think maybe as well you have the drawdling videos.
I do, yes.
If you could just put them on OneDrive.
Yep.
Because I think it's just a good thing, like maybe for this week or something. Because we've only got this for this week. We'll see. 100%. It's not a big deal. If not, it's still a sort of vault for the future. So
still, I was gonna say we're still getting stuff. We're still getting something out.
Yeah.
Which is the aim.
It is the aim.
'Tis the aim.
'Tis the aim. Well, I've got to go groom my beard. And then,
dude.
And then take a shit ton more notes. It's like they want me to take all those business notes, but then I've got a code, and then I've got to do modelling, except I can't do the modelling because of the brief not being out, and it's just like... Yeah. And now I've got a job, and God knows how... I mean, it should only take an hour and a half a week, that job. So
how do you find the time?
I don't. That's the honest answer. I don't find the time. No, it's just like procrastination. Put a lot of things off. I mean, luckily stuff like modelling this year has been a bit stupid. We've been taught everything from the beginning, and I'm like, I've done this 2 years in a row. I don't.
Are you like me, where you sort of like function slightly better under pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, definitely. It's not healthy, but I do function better. Like my modelling last year, I did all of my other stuff ahead of time. My modelling I put off because I just hated it so much. And then for like the last 3 weeks of modelling, I just did like an hour a day or something. I got like higher than everyone I knew. So maybe, but annoyingly, it's the thing I hate the most. So I kind of want to do badly this year, just be like, don't make me do it again. But I think next year I do uni, which will be end of 2021 if I do my placement abroad for a year. I get to choose if I want to major like coding or modelling. So probably coding. Nice. I understand it very little, but I'll still probably pick it.
It's more enjoyable than modelling.
I do enjoy coding, yeah. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's confusing. It hurts my head a little bit, but I like doing it. Whereas modelling just bores the fuck out of me. I can't stand it.
Yeah, at least with coding, there's something to work on constantly, because
I feel
like it's like a domino effect from what I've heard. It's like if you try to fix one thing and in doing so you're going to damage another thing and have to.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about it though. I love fixing code. It's fun, but I don't like coming up with it yourself is really difficult. So I tend not to. I just kind of like go, oh, how do I do this? And then a bunch of different sites tell me different ways, and I go, okay, well that doesn't really work, but the end of that one does, so I'll chuck that with this one, and then you just kind of Frankenstein code.
Nice.
But even my lecturer or demonstrator, because it's a student from last year who's teaching us this year, and he's amazing. He was just like, coding by yourself is really difficult, coming up with stuff. So like, don't feel like you should be. Use Google. It's helpful. It's a resource. Don't ignore it. So yeah. I don't know. I know that you're using Maya and stuff, and you have opinions on it. And I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just
you know what? As I've been using it, it's getting more and more usable. But it still shouldn't be at the point where it's unusable. You know.
Had any bad crashes yet?
No, not yet.
Wow.
Genuinely haven't had any crashes on Maya using my computer.
I was sat in my modelling lecture yesterday, which, by the way, I've not really been paying attention to for the last 3 weeks, because he has just been going like, this is a polygon, and I'm a bit like, this is my third year doing modelling. I'm not sitting through this a third year in a row, and so I just kind of leave it on and I watch the animated movies or do some work or something. Mostly watch the animated movies. One time I played Among Us. It was great. I was in the one yesterday, and I realised that I didn't even have Maya installed on my computer. Because I got this computer between last year and this year, and I wasn't doing anything, and so I just didn't install Maya. I've done it now, begrudgingly.
Yes.
And I feel like I might try and do Old Man Bats from Dark Knight Returns.
Nice.
If I'm allowed to.
Good.
I think it'd just be really fun, because it's very cartoony, even as a 3D model. He's got the fat chin. So I'm quite excited to get the chance to do that. But we'll see what the brief says, because it might say it has to have so many items of clothing or stuff like that. In that case, I'll just put some guns on holsters on his legs and say it's Bruce Wayne's dad as Batman. Bruce. Because that's the thing. In that, you know that one universe where Bruce dies and his dad becomes Batman, his mum becomes the Joker, or his dad's an alcoholic who kills people as Batman. He's got like guns and stuff, so that'd be quite fun actually. He's got this like 5 o'clock shadow constantly, and he's got red eyes in the cowl instead of like white.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, not to do the English right and then talk for another half hour.
No, this is turning into Lord of the Rings. There are like 7 different endings.
Okay, well, me and you talk sporadically anyway, but I'll hopefully properly talk to you next week again. If we find chance in between, we'll maybe do some go at a times, but no pressure. I'd rather you were able to focus on uni than that. But yeah, nothing seemed to have broken during that recording.
Fantastic. First time for everything.
Yeah, no funny edits this time.
Hold on. We have not actually talked about your your editing yet properly. I know this is a quick one. Super funny. Super funny, because it's all on me. That was a lie.
The best part is, George, is that you know the beats at the beginning of that song before it kicks in. I didn't time that up. I just dragged the song in after I cut it, and I pressed play, and it was like doing it with the words. And I was like, oh my god.
Even like the circular thing.
Oh, that was good. Yeah. And then it cuts into directed by George T. I think it was only funny because I asked that confirming question, like, you can 100% hear it though, and you're like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I'm 100%. That was a lie.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have done it if that sentence wasn't said, because it just makes the joke for me. But yeah, so we need to fix that next time. We need to do a test recording, but for some reason your game just was silent. It wasn't even quiet, it just wasn't there. So I don't know why, but yeah. We'll go with it. I think the video quality ended up being okay actually with my sound. Just normal, so at least we had sound again. I was a bit grieved at the time, because I was like, this will be a 6 episode run of no sound. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't have, because I had a few in between that were all right. But I remember a little bit ago, some of the earlier ones there was no audio, except for us, and that was really annoying.
Have a test recording next time,
because nobody watches us, but nobody watches us for us, so I don't can at least have the game audio. But yeah, that was fun to do. I enjoyed that. I've never edited anything like that, and it didn't take very long. I was quite proud of it. I watched it many times. If I have a bad day, it cheers me up.
Anywai, right. Leaving with the elves now. We're almost there.
Right, we're there. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go. George's gonna go do some work. Go. You shouldn't even be here right now. I'm gonna maybe do some work. I'm gonna sit with Evie while she has some lunch and groom this beard.
Groom this beard.